How's it going, my people? This is your boy Wired Up, and welcome to another episode of Wired Up TV interviews. This interview here is of my boy Outlaw Radio Live. I want you guys to check out his radio station, my friends. I'll leave the link in the description, but prepare to be entertained, man. One of the best interviews yet. Wired Up TV for life. What's up, my brother?
How you doing, brother? What's good with you?
Nothing right here. Just getting out of work, bro.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's understandable. We all have day jobs, you know.
So how was your day, my friend?
Well, pretty good, man. Are we recording right now, or?
Yeah. Yep. We are.
Oh shit! So what's going on, Wired Up TV? What's up, DJ Imortal in the house? How y'all doing?
How was your day, my brother?
I'm doing pretty. My day was pretty good, man. Just had a little scheduling issue. I had Biz Markie supposed to be coming on tonight, but he had a charity basketball event he had to do, so now he switches tomorrow. So gives me a little more preparation time.
Well, that's good, right?
Oh yeah, man. Nervous interview. Biz Markie's been a huge fan of Biz Markie for a long time, so just being able to interview him is an honor.
Oh yeah, he's a huge person in the hip hop industry.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Like that song, Just a Friend, you hear that song, it's stuck in your head for months.
All the females love that song, dude.
Oh, yeah. I think it's an instant classic, no matter what. I think in like another 20 years, that song is still going to be huge.
Oh, for sure, of course. So, so where are you from, man? Tell everybody where you're from, and, you know, how you got into liking music so much. Who was your inspiration? Who's your favorite rapper?
All right, so since I'm on Wired Up TV, first off, I'm going to say I'm originally from Brockville, Ontario, Canada. To narrow it down, because I know you guys got a lot of worldwide listeners, and this is an American platform, I am in between Ottawa, Ontario, which is the nation's capital, and Kingston, Ontario, Canada. But I recently just moved to a little town of like 4,000 people, called Prescott, Ontario, Canada. I'm about 15 minutes from the New York State border. And I have to say, my inspiration is Tupac Shakur. That guy straight up saved my life when I was younger, man. His music most definitely was an inspiration to my entire life. I truly feel if it wasn't for his music, I would not be here today. When I was young, I grew up in a foster home and group homes. And this is the first time I actually really told it. I didn't even tell this story to my live audience. So when I was 13 years old, I lived in a group home with all boys. So mind you, if you live in an all boys group home, everyone has their own issues. I got bullied at home and at school, you know, and when I was 13, I literally wanted to kill myself.
Wow.
So one day, I didn't even tell the group home staff, bro, I mean this. I walked up, I got a knife, put it in my pocket, went upstairs, quietly barricaded my door shut, and this is how I first heard Tupac's music, mind you. I flipped on the radio. There's a station called 96.7 Yes FM. Unfortunately, now it's gone to crap. It doesn't play any music, really good music. But anyways, this DJ, he said, you know, let's kick it old school. Let's play, here it is, Tupac Changes. And when I heard the very first part, I wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? At this point, I actually had the knife buried in my arm.
Wow.
For some reason, when I heard his lyrics, just something told me, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do it. I pulled the knife out, wrapped my arm up, and I just went downstairs to the group home staff and was like, and they're like, what happened? I'm like, oh, I just tripped and fell and cut my arm. Just some bullshit.
Yeah.
But after that, I just kept researching, listening to his music, watching his videos, and I fucking was like, not in a gay way, but I fucking fell in love with his music, his inspiration. It was like an anthem to my life. And I'm 25 years old now. I was about 13 years old then. 2 Tupac tattoos, fucking posters, all the CDs. I'm a huge fucking fan, man. Literally, I've got everything. My living room is covered with Pac posters almost. I have everything. It's like a shrine except with the candle. I'm not quite there yet.
Not yet.
Not quite there yet.
What's your favorite Tupac album?
Oh, I have to say Me Against the World is probably my absolute favorite. It's right before his death row days. You know, Thug Life was one of those albums that he did. But you know, it was in between the Thug Life days and the death row days. It was a little bit of everything. You know, you really felt his pain and emotion from It Ain't Easy, him talking about knowing he's going to prison, you know, like, it ain't easy being me, will I see the penitentiary or will I stay free? It was like stuff like that. Then you saw an angry side with Death Around the Corner. So Many Tears, you know, it was such an inspirational album. You saw both sides of Tupac in that album. And after all, you know, how can you not like that album? It's only, he was the first rap artist to actually go platinum while in prison.
Oh, yeah.
So how can you not hate that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would think, wasn't it Slick Rick that was the first one, or did Slick Rick just go to prison and then that was it?
I'm not 100% on that. I heard Tupac was the first one. I could be wrong. I'm just going from what I heard with, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I heard Tupac was the first one, but for some reason, Slick Rick just popped into my head right now because I know he did time too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the good legends did time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sad, but
true. Sad but true.
Exactly, man.
So, if Me Against the World's your favorite Tupac album, I would think your favorite Tupac song would have to be in that album too, right?
It's actually weird. When a lot of people ask me, since I'm a huge Pac fan, what's your favorite Tupac song? I look at it as there is not one Tupac song that I don't like. So choosing just one song is so hard. So when people ask me that question, normally what I say is I have a favorite song, one or two favorite songs from each album, because it's so hard to choose just one of your favorites. Because I would tell you it, and then 5 minutes later I'd switch it, because I'd be like, no, that one. Yeah. So for Me Against the World, I would say my favorite two songs, I would say, is It Ain't Easy and Young N. I just know my colors, so I'm not going to say the full word, but Young N. Everybody knows what song that is if you're a Pac fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, what I usually tell people, because, you know, people ask me too, is and I'll tell them, well, I got a favorite Pac song for different emotions. What is the Pac song that you listen to when you're pissed off?
Pissed off, I would say Holla At Me. Mainly because Holla At Me from disc 2 of All Eyes on Me album. Yep. The reason behind that, what I would have to say, is because it kind of is not the story of my life. Like I'm not going to get quite into it, but I've dealt with crazy women that, you know, tried to lock you up and stuff like that. Like I've dealt with that, right? So Holla At Me, when he talked about how he didn't say her name, but everybody knows he's talking about Ayanna Jackson, the broad that threw him in jail for that rape case, which everybody knows he didn't do. The way he was talking about that, that's a song that I really listen to, because no matter how pissed off you are at anything in this world, you can listen to that song and realize that this woman threw Tupac in jail, and even then he still didn't diss her. You know what I mean? So it's one of those songs where I listen to when I'm mad, just because of the beat. He talks bad about Biggie as well, which he talks about, you know, we can't be friends. You already know who that's about. I think it's hard to explain why. I just listen to a tons of his songs when I'm mad, but normally Holla At Me is my go-to pissed off track.
Yeah. Well, you know, supposedly they're saying that Holla At Me, of course, it is about Ayanna Jackson, and then they say that the first verse is about Biggie, I think, and then the second verse is about Big Psych. I don't know if you ever heard that before.
I haven't. No, I haven't. It's one of those things. Like I know lately, a lot of the tabloids I haven't really been listening to, because it's just it sounds bad. A lot of people are just trying to make money off his name, so I just listen to the music and be a fan, right?
Exactly.
But I probably did hear about it. I probably just didn't pay attention, to be truthful.
Right on. Okay. So what is your favorite Pac song when you're sad, bro? When you're sad, or when you're down, you know, when things are going bad?
Probably Better Days. I would say Better Days is my go-to song when I'm down. You just lay back, pop on the Better Days CD, listen to that, and just close your eyes, man, and reminisce, you know? I would say that one, because there's a few of them, right? Because obviously you can't listen to just one song's going to calm you down when you're upset.
For sure.
I would probably say It Ain't Easy, not It Ain't Easy, sorry. I Ain't Mad At You. Just because some days I'm depressed about different things. When I was about a couple years ago, I lost one of my best friends. You know, he got murdered, and
Oh wow.
like I Ain't Mad At You is one of those songs that really makes me remember my friend, because he's like, if you see the video, you know, Pop died in it, and it's kind of like he's rapping to his friend type of thing.
Yeah.
It just, when I listen to that song, it makes me feel like my friend's doing the same thing, and it just makes me feel like I'm not alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, bro. I understand you completely, man. I've been through that kind of stuff too, man. So
Yeah, man. You know, I just gotta use the memories to keep going. You know what I mean? You can't cry over it, man. You just gotta remember the good times and just keep trucking.
You're 100% right on that one, my brother. 100% right. You gotta keep that positive mindset and keep on pushing, right?
You already know. Rest in peace, Tyler Walden. 1995 to 2015. We love you. That's all I gotta say. Shout out to my homie.
Big shout out to your homeboy, my friend, and rest in peace. And you know, I'm really sorry to hear that, brother. I know how hard that can be, man.
Yeah, it's good, man. You know, it gets better with time. Obviously, it still hurts, but it is what it is, man. You can't turn back time. Only thing you do is keep moving forward and live out his dreams and make him proud.
For sure. So what inspired you, or what made you want to get into radio so bad?
It's actually kind of funny. So obviously, Outlaw Radio Live, it is inspired by like my Tupac and the Outlaws. That's what inspired the name.
Yeah.
But what really made me want to get into it was, it was weird. I always wanted to do it when I was younger, but I just never. I always said, "Oh yeah, I would love to do it. I would love to interview all my favorite people." But you know, when you say it, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
How it happened was, you know, I was working at this factory in Brockville. It was closing down, so like they were slowly laying people off, and they laid me off from my job. I was trying to find a job at this point, but if anybody that knows Brockville, it's crap. It just the city's pretty much in a recession. They have no jobs, no nothing. So I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, resumes, Indeed, just going like crazy. Couldn't find no job. So it's like one day I was laying on the couch. I literally was giving up on finding work. I was like, I can't do it. F this, right? So then I sit up randomly. I'm like, yo, babe, look at my wife. I'm like, I'm going to do a radio show. I just need something to keep my mind. I'm always fucking crazy, excuse my language, being in the house. I really need to do something to get my mind off this. So she's like, okay. At this point, I didn't know if she really thought I was serious. I didn't know if I was serious. Yeah. So I did the radio show, just played old school rap hits like Tupac, you know, all the old stuff. And I started sending the links to my friends, and they're like, yo, man, this is really fucking good. Like, you should keep doing it. So I decided to make some social media accounts, and I started following some of my favorite rappers. I followed Deuce, who was the young noble of Tupac's rap group, The Outlaws. Yeah. And he messaged me. I just followed him. Didn't even message him. I wasn't even going to do interviews at this point. He messaged me. He's like, hey, what's going on? I see you're a new platform. You know, me and Noble just dropped a new album. This is when they dropped Growth.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I need to promote it. You know what I mean? So, and you need some, you obviously need some followers. Let's work. Let's connect. And mind you, I'm a Tupac fan, so you obviously know I'm a fan of the Outlaws. Like, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do when you're sitting back and you're like, okay, I haven't did an interview in my freaking life. But how are you gonna tell this man you haven't did that? You're gonna be like, all right, cool, I'll do it. You're not gonna turn him down.
Of course not.
So I was sitting back, I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, what the hell do I do? I never did an interview. So then I realized I have a few buddies across the world that rap. So I'm like, hey man, do you want to come on the show for like an interview? Like, you know, I'll put it on YouTube and whatnot, but I need it to pretty much as a tester to make sure I know what the hell I'm doing. And they're like, yeah, sure. So I had a few guys on from the UK, and it just, after I did the Deuce show, I got Stormy Coleman, who worked in You Can't Sell Dope Forever with the Outlaws, and then I got Rated R from Thug Life. Me and him are pen pals. We still talk. He calls me. Oh, wow. And, yeah, man, it's insane. It just blew up from there. I even got MOPREME SHAKUR on my show before, like, already. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fucking awesome, dude. Big shout out to MOPREME.
Oh, hell yeah. MOPREME, one hell of a great guest. I'm telling you, I was trembling. Like, you could definitely hear the white in me when I did that interview. Like, you could be like, oh, shit, this white boy's going puke. I didn't, though, by the way, guys. You know what I mean? I nailed the shit out of it.
Hell yeah. Dude, I would have been nervous, too, man. That's MOPREME SHAKUR, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
Yeah, and at first you listen to the interview. It's available on our YouTube channel, but, like, I thought at first I had to feel like he didn't want to be there, but I think he probably thought it was like every other interview, all about Pac. But I started asking him questions just about his career, like, you know, when he first started out, I think I only mentioned his brother's name once because they formed Thug Life together. Yeah. And he started getting into the interview more. Because when I do the interviews, I interview more people than just Pac's, like people that associate with Pac.
Yeah.
But I look at it as with the MOPREME, I look at it from my perspective. My best friend was like my brother. I know that was Tupac's half-brother, okay? Step-brother. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's still his brother. And that's how I looked at my friend Tyler. So I look at it as if you interview someone like MOPREME, or if someone's interviewing me, I don't want to talk about Tyler for like an hour and a half on the radio, you know? I'd want someone to talk about what I'm doing. So I based it on him. And I told him that before the interview, but I think he kind of was like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I've never got an interview with just about me. But the questions were, he talked about Pac. But it was still like, he did it on his own. I made it so, like, if you want to talk about Pac, I'll leave a few doors open. You can walk through the door, or you can slam it shut in their faces.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. So was that your favorite interview, or which one was your favorite interview? I don't want to put you on the spot because I'm pretty sure every interview was special in its own way, but to you, which one was the most special? This interview.
Like, some interviews I've done, like for instance, I've interviewed both members of the Loonies, so Yuck Mouth and Numbskull. I've interviewed CJ Mack, Bizzy Bone. It's got to go through my list here. Money B from Digital Underground. And I even interviewed Rapping Forte and whatnot. If you don't mind, can I pick two? Just because of the fact that picking one is just so hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, MOPREME is going to be my top favorite, just because of the fact that was my dream interview. Yeah. I'm a really huge fan of Pac. That's the closest thing I'll ever get to interviewing Tupac. Yeah. So I would say that most definitely is my top one. But my second favorite, I'd have to say Bizzy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, just because that was such a huge interview that I've ever done. And my other favorite would probably have to be Rated R, because that interview pretty much, it was weird. After that Rated R interview from Thug Life, he just randomly calls me like once a week and whatnot, and we talk. So I think that sparked a friendship.
That's good.
So I'd most definitely say those are my top three.
That's good shit, man. And I could really understand. I could relate to what you're saying, because, you know, when I first started interviewing people, when I interviewed Reggie Wright Jr., you know, which is a close friend of mine's now, you know, we talk a lot, you know, and he was head of Right Way Security, and then I got to interview, you know, other people that were, you know, associated with Pac, and it just, I was nervous, man, and it just feels good, you know, because just like you, I was a huge Pac fan, so I can understand what you're talking about and how you feel, man. I can bet it was special, real special to you.
It was, and it's almost surreal too when you actually like message these people, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it," and then you book it, and then you make the posters, and you're like, "Oh fuck, man, this guy ain't even gonna answer the phone." You know what I mean? Like, and then he answers the phone, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?" And then you're just like, "Oh my god, this is like actually really happening right now. Like, am I dreaming? Did someone slap me in the face and wake me up? Like, this dream ain't funny no more, man."
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, man. You definitely get nervous. I've gotten so nervous, man, where I felt like the interview was going garbage. But, you know, when I asked people, they go, "Nah, you're doing good." And I was like, "You couldn't tell that I was nervous?" "Nah, man, you sounded cool." I'm like, "Okay." All right. Well, that's good.
That's how I felt with my Numbskull interview. I wasn't like, I look at it as when you're an interviewer, you always think it sounds like crap, but everybody else sounds great, but I wasn't impressed with myself with the Numbskull interview. I felt like I dropped the ball, and I will say that, you know, as an interviewer, no matter how many people you interview, you still have growth. You're still going to grow and be better at what you do. People can say, "I'm the best at everything." You're never going to be the best. You're always going to improve in certain ways. And I feel I dropped the ball on that interview, man. So if I ever get a chance to interview Numbskull again, I'm going to make damn sure I make sure it's like 50,000% better.
That's what's up, man. Oh, I was listening to your interview. I don't know. I think it was your latest interview, right? With Ra, I believe that's his name. From the Me Against the World album. That was a great interview, dude. Great interview, bro.
Yeah. I'm going to be truthful, you know. First off, shout out to Ra, a really cool guy. So if you're listening to this, Ra, thank you again. First off, I got to say, with that Ra interview, I personally didn't think it would be the best interview. just because like he was in that song for 10 seconds, right? Like I didn't really have much to ask him.
Yeah.
And nothing on Raw. It's just because during the interview, as you heard, after Pac passed away, he pretty much just stopped doing music. He lost the inspiration. So there wasn't very much on him to go with, right?
Yeah.
So I figured that interview would be short and quick, but then it came out to be like a good 20-something minute interview, and it was great. I really enjoyed that interview. I would most definitely welcome him back on the show any time of the day.
Yeah, for sure. It was really, really, really interesting, bro. I heard it, like I was telling you, man. You had me busting up, bro. I mean, you got you have a real talent for this radio stuff, man. Just letting you know that.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. It's I always push myself 110%, man. Like I live, breathe Outlaw Radio Live. Like it's my creation, and when I see people, like even when people give me positive feedback, I always want to do 10 times better. But when people give me negative feedback, I do 50 times better just to be like, all right. Like I don't want to sound cocky, but it's one of those things. I am so used to negative feedback in my life. Like for instance, the group home, bullied at home in a school. That's negative feedback. Mm-hmm. I don't excuse my language. I don't mess with negative energy. Yeah. So when someone gives me negative energy, I'm going to take that. I'm going to flip it around, do a whole 360 into positive. Sure. You know, for instance, somebody told me, and I don't want to brag, but somebody told me that you're never going to get anybody that's ever even worked with Snoop Dogg. You're never going to get anybody big. I booked Daz Dillinger for November 25th. It's just because I look at it as, okay, you say I can't do it, I'm going to do it. You know, and I've been a huge Daz Dillinger fan. Like I started hyperventilating like a fucking little kid. When I booked him, like I was like, wait, what? He said yes. Like,
dude, Daz Dillinger is friggin' huge, bro. That's huge.
I think right alongside with Johnny J, those two guys are one of the most underrated producers on the West Coast. And people can comment and say otherwise, but Johnny J and Daz Dillinger most definitely deserve way more recognition than what they already have.
Oh my God, bro. Daz Dillinger, man. Ambitious of a writer. Are you kidding me, man? He's legend, bro. Daz Dillinger, man. Big shout out to him, bro. That's a big one, brother. That's a huge one.
I'm excited, most definitely. I'm still contemplating on what I'm going to ask him. He told me, he gave me his number and said, when you call, be ready to record. And it's like, yes, sir.
Look at that. You're crazy, man. But that's just as big as, that's like getting Snoop, bro. I mean, to me, it's the same thing, bro. Because that's Daz, you know what I'm saying? This man worked with Tupac. He was on Tupac albums. I mean, dude, it's Daz, you know what I'm saying? I bet you're nervous, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I look at it as, I give myself milestones to work towards, right? Because you obviously, if you look at it as I'm just going to be booking artists, you don't really have anything to work towards. You already have the radio show, you're getting famous people. I look at it to give yourself a milestone. So my milestone was to get a really big, huge producer that did a lot of big things. That was my goal. I didn't know exactly which one. That was my goal. But then my next milestone, and I know it's going to take me a long time before I get this one, unless I hit the lottery to make it happen early. I want my next milestone is getting Snoop Dogg. I know it's going to be quite a few years before I get to that, but it'll give me something to work and hustle towards.
You said Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg, yes. I'm a huge Snoop fan as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Snoop lit, man. He's straight up legend of the West Coast, man.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if you get Daz, I'm pretty sure you can get Snoop, and I don't think it's gonna be that long. To be honest with you, man, the way you're going, I don't think it's gonna be long at all, man. For you to get Snoop, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought you were gonna say
and the funny.
I thought you were gonna say like Drake or somebody like that, or Lil Wayne, for some reason.
Honestly, no. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a Drake fan. He's Canadian, unfortunately. And I don't mean to be rude to the Americans, but since he's living out there, y'all can have him. I'm just saying, I can't support this new rap, guys. So if anybody here listening to my show, expect old school rap. I believe the newest music I would play is like the Eminem show, and that's like even going back like a good 15 years.
Yeah.
Like just because I play 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So the mumble rap stuff, you will not find that on my show. And if someone's playing mumble rap, they most definitely hacked my radio show account.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do like some of the new rap, like the new E40 stuff that he's coming out with. I really think is great. I dig.
Oh yeah, man. Most definitely. That's still a legend. He still produces some great stuff.
Oh hell yeah.
It's just like the little Zan and the 6ix9ine guy. It's like hell no, man.
Hell no.
No.
6ix9ine, man, that guy sung like freaking Whitney Houston, man. He snitched on everybody. The only one he didn't snitch on was his mama. I think. I mean, I don't know. He might snitch her
give it time. Give it time. He'll probably be snitching on his girlfriend. Give it time, man.
Oh yeah.
He'll snitch on his baby. Give it time. If it gets him a couple more years off his sentence. Actually, speaking of that, I heard something like he snitched on one of these Bloods or something like that, and the guy got like a 13 years in prison.
Yeah,
like even if, the moment he walks out of jail, he's gonna die. So
yeah, Shotty. Yeah, he snitched on his friend Shotty. I guess Shotty was banging his girlfriend or something like that, and he snitched on him. I mean, I believe he would have snitched on him whether he was banging his girlfriend, his dog, or whoever, because you know he's trying to get out of jail. But yeah, he snitched on some guy.
Well, realistically, I don't mean talking shit or anything, but if you look at 6ix9ine's girlfriend, man, if you look on his Instagram, you'll see pictures of her. She's a dog's prettier, man. Truthfully, like that's all I'm gonna say, man. Like it's like what the hell is on your face? It looks like 6ix9ine with tits. Unfortunately,
it does. I know. Hey, dude, I feel you. I feel you on that one, man. I think she did an interview on another YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of it, but oh man, yeah, she's not a supermodel. Yeah, let's just say.
Oh
that.
hell no! and if she ever becomes a supermodel, I'm gonna jump off a cliff.
Right.
And I say that with no smile or straight face. It's like I'm done with humanity. I'm just gonna free fall now.
Oh, all right, that's good. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the mumble rap like Lil Xan and what's his name, XXX and all that stuff. Either.
I do have to say though, with XXX, it's not my type of music. I really didn't like the type of music he had. But at the end of the day, man, he did die a pretty horrific way. And no matter what kind of music you have, no matter how much money you have, he was just a kid, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was a kid with a lot of money and just did some stupid stuff. My condolences. I mean this. I would even say this on my radio show, and I'm not a mumble rap fan. I really do feel bad for what happened to him, man. He was just a kid with a lot of money that didn't know what to do with it. And he ended up getting killed for a bag of money. You know, condolences to his family, man. They had some sad shit, and like I said, I don't like his music. I never really liked him as a person, but if someone dies like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You have to feel some sort of pain, you know? But 6ix9ine, if he dies, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It is what it is.
Who cares? Yeah, man, that's definitely, that's messed up, man. You know, poor guy, you know, nobody needs to get shot in the face and all that. That's really sad. Yeah, that's messed up and stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of them either, bro. So I definitely feel where you're coming from and stuff like that. But you know, mainly the only music that I listen to that's kind of new is probably, like I said, E40. Who else I'm gonna say? Who else do I bump sometimes? I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be bumping some of the Migos stuff with DJ Mustard. But somebody that I really like right now is YG. For sure, YG is pretty lit right now. That I listen to, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you heard any new of Daz Dillinger's music though. He just produced a dope song called LA, New York, New York. No. With Capone, man. Like, it's a new song they just dropped and it's fire.
Oh, really?
And he also dropped a new song with called Rumors with High C.
Oh wow, nah. You know what? I haven't been really keeping up with Daz so far. The last thing I saw that Daz did is when he was on when he got arrested. You know, I kind of felt bad for him. I was like, man, that's messed up.
For the marijuana?
Yeah, I was like, man, that's messed up. But that's the last time I really heard about Daz.
I am really glad though. Shout out to Daz for beating them charges, man.
Yeah,
like I'm actually glad he beat that because, like, marijuana, man. Like, fuck, dude. There's bigger and worse things out in the world. You know what I mean? I'm glad he beat those charges. Oh my god. Like straight up, man. It's a weed, man.
Hey, but you know, some of those states, they don't mess around. I don't know how things are in up there in Canada. And I was meaning to ask you that, man. I've always, bro, and I always tell my wife this. I've always wanted to go live in Canada, bro. Always, since I was a youngster, brother. Always, man. Ever since because when I was young, I always loved hockey. You know what I'm saying? And I always loved the snow. And I used to like wrestling too. And one of my favorite wrestlers was Bret Hart. and Shawn Michaels and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I always wanted to go to Canada, dude. And I was always meaning to ask you, like, how is Canada? Is it, really peaceful?